Makes a big difference.
So this is the most exciting part of this whole presentation today, because when we get to this point, we're sitting down with our clients. By the time we get to here, they're overwhelmed. They're like, I have all these different social networks I got to post on. I have to understand the media. I have to understand the message, my target market. Time out. Too much. But it's not. We're going to share with you a couple of tools you can use to make your lives a lot easier. Because we know small businesses, you guys all work 12, 14-hour days. You're overwhelmed. You have a lot of people coming and knocking your doors trying to sell you their advertising or their service. But these tools are going to help you a lot. The first one's Buffer. We use different tools. I use Buffer. Bryce uses Hootsuite.
Yes. The Buffer is pretty cool. I've used it a touch, but Hootsuite is similar in a lot of regards. It's a tool where you're able to really kind of streamline your whole social media presence. It makes it so you can fit in your social media into a couple hours, whereas if you're kind of doing it on your own as you have time, either one, you're going to not be working on something else that's very important for your business, or you're just going to be kind of spinning your wheels and not being able to do it right.
So both these tools allow you to set up queues for all your different social networks, your personal, your professional, and your business. Actually, and for every single one of those sites we just gave you individually. So what does that mean? That means you can spend some time on a weekend or a weekday. You can actually build all the different social media posts you want, and you can create queues for each one of those. And each one of those silos or the queues have different time frames in which they can release the information.
You can schedule it all out. So if you devote, say on a Saturday morning before things get started with the family, as a small business owner, you can squeeze in an hour, hour and a half, and figure out all your posts for the rest of the week. You can schedule them. Buffer is a little bit different than Hootsuite in that you can put them into the different silos. With Hootsuite, I use that quite extensively, and so you can schedule that out. And so you can go through your week not worrying about social media. You can do the spontaneous stuff as you see it and experience it, but just you have the peace of mind that your social media is going to be consistently put out there.
Well, the other thing is the content. All right, you want to put out really good, valid content. Both these tools have little toolbars on the top that goes into your browser with a little app button. So that if I'm reading an article on entrepreneurship or small business or a new tool, it's easy to just go to the top, push the button, and a little pop-up window pops up. And it's got all my social media choices there, and I can either say, yes, I want it, or no, I don't. And I can put a little tip in there and says, oh my God, this is a phenomenal article everyone's got to read. And then I have options. I can either do it now, share now, or I can put it in the queue for each one of those, or some of those. Or I can say, I can actually schedule it. There's another button where I say, I want this to go out on Friday at 8:15. So very flexible, very, very easy to use. So a lot of small businesses, they're looking for that content, but many of them, even in the health field, one of the ladies I work with, to get her in the habit of doing that, she's always doing research on the internet. I'm like, why are you not taking these awesome articles that you're finding, these research, and just hit the button and then post it to your social network? She goes, I don't know how to do that. And it took her maybe 10 minutes to set it up, and now she's posting all the time.
Makes a big difference to your followers because they want to make sure that if they're going to actually take the time to view your content, you need to be valuable to them.
Right, you're the authority.
Yeah.
You're the authority on what? Real estate, co-working space, entrepreneurship for youth, recipes, restaurants. You're the authority, so you want to make sure that content that you put out is valuable to your target market.
Exactly. Now the next one is somewhat new. I've used it for the last maybe 6 or so months, and they're constantly updating. It's called Perch. It's specifically for an app. It's not online. It's a very cool way to, as a small business owner, monitor your competition. And it's built specifically for small businesses. So you're able to monitor your competition's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, but also you can keep tabs on everything that they're doing on Yelp, on Foursquare, and they update this app all the time, and so you're able to see what types of reviews they're getting, what they're up to. So if your normal Twitter feed, if you're following 500 people, you're either going to have to just kind of try to find them in your feed, or you're going to have to go to each platform and look up your competition. This app allows you to very easily look at a very dedicated feed to your competition. Now, if you're, say, in the B2B realm, you can meet clients or potential clients and monitor what they're up to. So it's an easy way to kind of have a devoted feed for your business.
I believe not only your competition, but you could also use it for understanding like local news as well. I mean, you could probably load in Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah.
So your local Chamber of Commerce is always updating the latest events, you know, the wine that's going on, something else, that you can also take that information, and if it's appropriate to your target market, share that as well.
And is that an app or that's online?
It's purely an app. Like they have a website, but it throws you right to their app.
Now again, these are complex things that are made very, very easy now.
Yeah, because normally if you want to check out your competition, you probably get, once you get on Facebook, you're checking them out, it's probably maybe 20, 30 minutes to kind of seek out that information. But with this app, you can very easily just thumb through and see what your competition's posting and what they're up to, reviews, everything else.
So one of the other tools that a lot of our small businesses love is Canva.
Oh.
I mean, it saves them so much time, because in the old days, you had to take an image, you had to crop it, you had to go find your image, you had to Photoshop it. There's all these things that you had to do to develop an image that might take them 15 to 20 minutes. Actually, we talked to someone yesterday about it. Or more, to get an image so you could actually post it on the different social networks. And then you have different size requirements for all these different social networks. But with Canva, they solved all that.
Yeah, it's Photoshop made easy. You don't need to take a class to do this. It's all very user-friendly. You just drag and drop the images that you want. They actually have a library of images that you can use, backgrounds, fonts, all that. And then you're able to, there's a magic button where you can all of a sudden make a different image based on what the image that you just developed for all the different social media platforms. So
how do you use that? I mean, you can take an image, you can use it for events, you can use it for an open house, you can use it for putting out a tip, you know, or technique.
Yes, not
right?
just for social media. They have marketing flyers, they have PowerPoint presentations. It's very versatile. You can use it in a lot of different ways.
So again, some people look at Canva and go, I don't have the time for it. It's too overwhelming for me. And one of the other tools that a lot of our small businesses love is called Fiverr.
Amazing.
You can get anything you want done for $5. They do press releases, they'll do images, they'll do marketing materials,
Video editing.
They'll do the video. If you take your logo for $5, they'll actually animate your logo. There's all kinds of awesome services that you get for $5.
Yeah, we preface that with, because we're all about staying local, but for a small business that maybe is devoting maybe $1,000 a month towards marketing, to spend all that money initially in the startup phase with a professional that's local, that's going to be a tough sell. They're going to blow through their entire budget. So this is a way for them to get up and running and started and have it look good, no matter what they're working on with Fiverr. And then once they're established, once they're successful and up and running, then they're in a position to really use the local graphic artist that maybe is $125 an hour, and to do a logo is about $1,200. So you're able to do this very easily, and once you're established and you have the budget and you're successful, then you can stay local.
That's one of our biggest questions sometimes. Like, you're a local company trying to focus on local solutions, and we're off telling everyone about these other tools. But it is the most important thing. Is our goal is to make that small business as successful and cash flow positive as possible. And if a small business only has $10,000 to launch, we're not going to suggest they spend $10,000 on their website, especially if they don't even know their target market. We've talked about some of these things to them. They haven't really focused on even their target market to understand, you know, on their marketing materials, what colors they should use, you know, the images they should use, or who their clients really are.
Yeah, exactly.
These other two we'll just talk about briefly because they're more advanced. Clout is more of a tool that allows you to track your social influence through all the networks that we showed you, like LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, all those kind of things. But that's something that I think most small companies are going to take care of these 4 items first, and then they'll start dipping into some of these other tools.
And along the same lines as Google Analytics. If you're working really hard on your social media and your digital kind of presence in general, Google Analytics, you need to sign up for it. Even if you don't use it, you need to sign up for it so you're able to track what's going on with your website, where your visitors are coming from, how much time they're spending on on your website. So at least set it up. We highly recommend that if you don't already have an analytics section to your website service. Squarespace, Weebly, things like that, they have analytics built in. But if you don't have that, this is worth signing up for right away, and then going forward, when you have time and the understanding, you can use it and analyze all that you're doing on social media.
Probably a good time to talk about, measuring your success. Because in the events we've been doing over the last 2 months, there's only been one person that we met that actually is measuring, how do you know about me? And that's the number one thing every single small business should know. They should know, like, how'd you find out about me, and where did you come from?
Yeah, we actually met someone here, actually down in Monterey, and it was for me as a business owner that helps small businesses, the first business owner that actually took the time and the effort to track where his customers came from. And at the end of each year, he totals everything up, and he could rattle off right then and there his top 3 clients and where they came from. And so really it comes down to having something very user-friendly, because especially if you have employees that are the kind of the face for your business and the first interaction with your customers, making it easy for them, having something printed out that they can easily just check off, and being able to have that consistency and making sure that your employees have that routine down. A way for you to track your customer base as they come in through the door, on the phone, or even on the website, being able to have that digitally on your website as to how they found out about you.
Well, it helped him make decisions, right?
Yeah.
He was paying $1,000 a month for Yellow Pages, and he realized when he looked, there's no one coming from Yellow Pages. So he X'd that.
Yeah, and with Yellow Pages, you're in a 1 or 2 year contract. It adds up.